Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining G2X biweekly training. This is Alexa Choi. I'm the Chief Operating Officer, and I can't wait to show you what we have today. Marianne is also here with me today, and she will be answering any of your technical questions. And if you have questions throughout, she will be collecting those, and she will stop me and ask me, and we will make sure that all of your questions get answered. Please make sure that you introduce yourself in the chat and connect with each other. And that's a great way to do a little bit of networking. Very excited. We have launched a bunch of new software and connected dots and tools in ways that have not been done before. And this is just the beginning. So stay tuned and sign up again, because every time I do one of these, it's going to be slightly different. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Also want to say thank you to my team members that are on the call, probably Julie and Brittany. Julie is our Director of Customer Success, and she's been with the company for a very long time. She is terrific. And also Brittany Winkler is our lead analyst, and she writes a lot of the reports and leads those efforts as well. So thank you to those folks for joining. I will jump in a different area today than I usually do. I try to keep it exciting for the team members that join as well. So up here at the top, you're going to see that we have this new status button. And when you work for a small company that is pushing out new software releases, it is kind of important to know what it is. So this status button will tell you every single time G2X has gone down or has had a performance issue and what it was. So just to kind of let you know, if you ever kind of are like, I wonder if it's my internet, or I wonder if G2X is down, hit that button and it will tell you. And if it's your internet, it'll probably tell you like, hey, it'll give you like a 404 because your internet went down. It'll tell you that. But if it's G2X, it'll also tell you that we're down. Sometimes the provider that we use to host is down, and there's things outside of our control, but we do try our best to provide the best experience for our customers. Up here at the top, you've got tools. Up here at the top, you've also got tools down here along the edge as well. I'm going to be covering all of those. The first thing I wanted to tell you is to complete your personal profile. We are going to be building out a lot of connectivity tools in the platform that allow you to connect to people inside of G2X. So in order to really have that be effective, you're going to want your profile to look as good as possible. We are also building in ways you could transfer your G2X information from account to account. We're thinking through a lot of the details on permissions and how we're going to do that. But first things first, come in and create your profile. Inside of your profile, you can also, actually, I think it's underneath of this little icon here. You can add some folks to your account. You can upgrade your account. You can see what account you have. A lot of those questions that get sent over to our customer success team, you can actually do yourself underneath of this little gear icon. And also wanted to let you know, sometimes we get emails like, hey, I don't see a help desk. How do I contact somebody at G2X? This little help question mark right here. If you click this, it'll bring you to a page, our knowledge library, where you can actually hit this contact us button. And then if you fill this out, it will kick over into our help desk, which is managed by HubSpot, which has a direct zap over to our Slack. So the entire company can see it. It's very transparent. And we also have SLAs on those as well. So just know that your concerns are important to us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. All right. The next icon up here is this little bell. And really, this is where we house all of your saved searches. Saved search is the functionality that we rolled out early last year, where you can run and save and set searches and things that you want to be delivered to your email inbox. And you're going to see that I have this Army one set up, and I'm just going to come in here and delete it. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes. So you can do all the kinds of things in here that you need to do. You can see I have a lot of them. And whenever I show this screen, I like to tell people that even though I have about 30 saved searches, the way that the emails come to me is actually in one roll up. I also have it set to instant. I was really impressed by the G2X development team, because rather than sending you like pinging your email with like 25 emails a day, you get one email and it says like VA all the things. Here are your results. Accenture, here are your results. ICE, here are your results. So therefore, it's one roll-up email on the things that hits your email maybe like once or twice an hour, rather than like a whole bunch of emails. And it really helps you stay on top of things. So consider this your way of really creating your own alerts, if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to move on to this bookmark here. This bookmark is really where you can house things that you want to keep track of. For example, things like Ramada. This is one of the biggest recompetes of 2025. We're a little bit up in the air of what's going to happen with it, with the recent kind of shakiness of HHS. But this is a very exciting opportunity. So in order to save it, you hit this little bookmark here, and then it goes to live up here. So you can quickly find it. We also have this add to pipeline button, and that's a best practice, really. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how that works and when and where you do that. So let me not get ahead of myself. Let's pop over to the homepage. One of the other things we're building in, and I've been approving a lot of screens for and talking about the how does it work, is the ability to set your own home screen. So imagine you log into G2X and you want it to land on the Doge tracker, or you want it to land on the analyst reports. Like, you want it to be somewhere specific to you and your workflows. That's coming. I'm going to pop over to our events. This is something I feel like I would like to say we've over indexed on it, but we haven't, just because there's so many events out there. It is absolutely the most comprehensive database of events out there as far as industry events, government events, industry days, reverse industry days. The whole entire GovCom is what I like to call it, the government community, whether it's government or industry, you've got your events here. And to be completely honest with you, this is just the beginning of the BD life cycle. So you're going to want to get out in front of your customers in person. They're going to need to know who you are, and they're going to need to know what it is that you do. So, of course, just a little bit behind the scenes here. I'm going to talk about this event, for example, NCMA Denim and Diamonds Gala. NCMA stands for the National Contracts Management Association, and a lot of the cores and contracting officers have to maintain their certifications. They do it by attending these events, and a lot of them show up to this, and it's over in Woodlawn, which, if you are familiar with the Woodlawn area, you also know CMS is housed there also. So really, it's a great way to get in front of the CMS community, both prime, subs, and government. So just knowing that, you can add to your calendar, register now. You can see a few of the other, events popping up here on the side saying if you're interested in this, you might be interested in that. And, I've seen a lot of different workflows when it comes to events. I think the best case really is to pull out the next 2 or 3 weeks, run it by your leadership, and just say, I want to attend these ones, you should attend these ones, and kind of like parts it out from there. But then also thinking about it from a curated intelligence perspective, which is where we're headed next. When you go to these events, what are you going to say to these people, right? Imagine this is going to be about 250 people walking in there. If you click on the health split, right? Because we have 3 verticals. We have health, FedSit, DoD, and you're going to walk into that Denim and Diamonds event, and you're going to grab a drink because, you don't know some of these people. You're kind of nervous. You want to have a good time. If you pop in here, this is going to give you different things you can talk about at this happy hour, right? So, for example, Accenture just won this big help desk award, 48 million. Called No Surprises Help Desk. And, there were 7 bidders. So it absolutely was something that people were looking at. It was awarded on GSA Mass. This gives you everything that you need to talk about. Be like, wow, did you see Accenture just won this, blah, 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 right? So you've got a few ways you could share this. You could copy the link, share it on LinkedIn. You could email it. Again, you've got that save button. If you really wanted to add some love to the page, you could like it as well. It's kind of like a crowdsourcing thing. And then again, you have the add to pipeline button. One of the things that we've released recently, and internally we lovingly call it Atlas, is a way to learn a little bit more about the companies that are winning. So Accenture, I mean, you've probably heard of Accenture, I'm guessing. And if you click in here into the AI company analysis, it's going to really go into their webpage and pull out their certifications, whether it's CMMI, ISOs. It's going to pull out the different customers that they have and their different capabilities and what they're known for. So that way you've got it all right here. We also have added the recent contracts as well. I know a lot of times when I'm looking at these things, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of it's a pretty big contract for CMS. Is this our first CMS contract, right? So you could pop right in here and kind of answer those questions pretty quickly. Accenture happens to be a big business, so they've got a lot of different contracts. And then you can also see their subcontracts as well, which I also find to be very kind of strategic, right? If you're thinking about that, like how do you get that next level information? So all of this is housed on our curated intelligence. And I just looked at the health. And remember, if you think back to my workflow, find an event, book the event. What are you going to talk to at this event? Go into the health split because it is a health event, and find out some different things to talk to people about. And this is another big one. Um, the VA has a new chief data officer and a division chief. These people are decision makers, and I feel like this person would be a great person to get in front of. You can link directly to his LinkedIn profile and kind of reach out to him. I always tell folks that, listen, these like the first 2-3 weeks at any job for these govies that are a GS 14 and above really are going to be the only time you're going to easily get on their calendar. So this is why we track industry moves, right? Um, if you come into the browse all, I really wanted to kind of like point out how we split our data up because that kind of just reminded me. If you pop into the categories, you can see when it comes to our amazing daily take team, that is really building out the platform and also the email that you get daily. This is how we split the information every single day. So you've got your awards, industry moves, opportunities, news, jobs, and protests. So you can kind of pop into any one of these and check out more information. Under the jobs is also our talent section where you're going to find resumes. So you can actually split this. And if you wanted to save a search, how do you save a search? You can come in here and to browse all. You can also do it directly in any one of our vertical splits. So while you're in here, I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm interested in opportunities within, let's just pick one here. Well, let's just do the Army. Okay, fine. We'll do opportunities at Army. Why not? Save search. Then you can name your search. So I already deleted my, I don't know if you remember earlier today, I deleted my Army search. So now I'm going to put it back on here. Army, I'm going to call it Army Ops. And then it's going to tell you exactly what you're saving. So that way you don't have to remember, create save search. And then that's going to go ahead and drop you back into this section here, which if you remember goes back to this little bell up here at the top. So now you see the Army Ops, you can edit, you can run, it tells you when you saved it, and you've got my notifications turned on, which of course, if you wanted to, you could turn them off. Army is exciting for me, so I'm gonna leave it on. All right, so we've went over a lot of different things in the last 12 minutes that I've been chatting. So I'm gonna pause and see if anybody has any questions.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, I'm going to be diving into our intelligence and the rest of our tools. So I will pop over to analyst reports. The analyst reports was new for us last year in 2024. And what we've really started doing is writing reports to help you either strategically target recompetes in a particular agency. So for example, you've got your Department of State recompeting contracts here, you've got transportation here, and then sometimes we'll write specifically about different opportunities. So this particular report is one that we had written about maps. So we kind of give you a little bit of an idea about the two contracts the government is really merging together, RS3 and ITES. And then we give you who all the incumbents are, and every single one of these is mapped back to the GovCon directory, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But if you were looking to really put a teaming strategy together, which if you're going to bid maps, you probably are, coming in here and understanding who the incumbents are is pretty critical. This is part one of a part two report. We do have another report that we had written about maps where we break out the task orders at the task order level, which like who from this list of companies is winning and who would make a smart partnership coming together to provide the best services for the recompete. That's a little bit about our reports. The kind of questions I get here whenever I talk about this is like, well, can I request a report? Sure, absolutely. In fact, that happens quite a bit. And, we love that. It kind of gives us direction for the backlog of reports. But just remember, we will publish it as well. So, your competition might also get that same report. That's just the nature of the beast. If you wanted us to write a report specifically just for you, happy to do that also. But it would be it would say price. So you just feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk about it. All right, I'm going to pop into our opportunities database. And in here, you can kind of see that we have added a lot of the different filters up here at the top. I'm going to say, okay, we want an active opportunity, agency, keywords. I'm also going to add in here the NAICS codes because I'm kind of a NAICS code gal. So I'm gonna say 541, 512. My favorite NAICS code. Don't tell anybody. So I'm saving that NAICS code, and it re-filtered everything by that NAICS code. And then you can kind of see, did that actually save it? No, it did not. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Okay. This tool is in beta, so you can see the little beta tag over here. Sometimes it's being a little challenged. I feel like that did work. Okay, good. Fantastic. All right. So while we're in here, you're going to see it did filter by 541, 512. You've got all kinds of things in here that pertain to IT. I'm going to pop open this one over here, this CISA opportunity. And I was going to kind of walk through the different parts and the pieces. And yeah, it does look like SAM.gov, and it is. This is the feed from SAM.gov. So the questions I get here are, hey, Alexa, why would I use this instead of just going to SAM.gov? Well, the being able to download all the data is one thing. Having it all in one place is another thing. But having the DISA, especially not sorry, not DISA information kind of all curated in one spot for you here, it's kind of going to change the game. Because rather than logging into 16 different places and be like, you know what, who's winning work at DISA, right? I mean, CISA. Well, Deloitte is. Integrity Management Consulting is, CACI is, so you can kind of just come down here very quickly and see a lot of the different news that's happening at CISA right now. So kind of bringing those two pieces of data together is really the magic here. So I'm going to go ahead and if I hit show in pipeline, it's going to bring me to pipelines. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there. Just hold on. For 2 seconds. So that's the opportunities database. Before I go into anything else, and I wanted to kind of like keep the information I'm giving you kind of in a way that kind of makes sense. I wanted to pop into our Doge tracker. So these are contracts that have been terminated. Um, for it's interesting. People ask us a lot, like, hey, how do you know if how do you know it's because of Doge? Well, the honest truth is we don't, right? But we do know that as soon as, like after the election, not the election, inauguration, contracts started getting canceled left, right, and sideways. So we can track that. So we know that some of the things in here may or may not be related, but a lot of times they are. So if you take a look at the description, which is down here, you can actually move these around. And by the way that this Doge tracker works is the way a lot of our tools work. So if you did want to move around some of these different things, like for example, you could slide the awarding agency down so you can have it sitting right next to the UEI and the business name and all of those parts and pieces, you can do that. And then you can kind of see the different description for all of these. You can keyword search it. You could go by agency. And then I think probably one of the more interesting pieces is the notify me up here at the top. If you wanted to put in your email address and get notified anytime anything gets added or changed or whatever reason, you can also get that for this as well. Okay, so let us continue going down. I really wanted to jump in and talk about the GovCon directory. So this is really an area that could be used in a lot of different variety of workflows. First workflow I'm going to talk about is I don't know what I'm looking for. So I'm coming here to explore. All I know is that I need an SDVO SB company and I want them to be an IT company. So I'm going to go 541, 512 again, my favorite NAICS code. And I'm going to hit close. And now you've got service disabled veteran owned. You've got 141 pages of service disabled veteran owned companies that their primary NAICS code is 541, 512. So this is one way of using this database, right? Let me show you the other way. So if I just pop back in here and I'm going to type in, let's do one of my favorite companies, Bixel, why not? So Bixel is one of our customers. She's lovely, owned by Carla, and come down here, it's going to give you a lot of the different information. And one of the nicest things you can see here is really an outlay. And you can click into the 10-year as well, which I like to do because 5-year really gives you kind of like that narrow view of like, is this company still a small business? Which is awesome. But like, what if I wanted to see 10 years? Like, where did they start? Where have they been at? What have they been doing? Right. But as you come in here, you can kind of see over time the company and the different contracts that they've been working through. As you come on down though, and before I do that, I was just going to show you socioeconomic status up here, different people on G2X here, lifetime contract value. So you can get kind of those quick hits. And by the way, if you click into this people on G2X, it'll give you all of the people kind of corralled into one spot. So if we come on down, you're going to see that this company's outlay of contracts kind of up here. And then you're going to come down and see exactly what they're doing and for whom. And you can also click in here and see who have they subbed to, right? Now, the question I always get here is, well, what about their subcontractors? Yes, we do know to get a 360 view, you need to not only have the subcontractor, the subcontracts, who they are working with, but also who's working with them. So that will be a drop down over here when we get that connected and completed. That's something we're working on. We didn't forget, it's just not done yet. One thing I wanted to point out is that you can pop open these carrots and get a little bit more information. You can also click into this number right here and it will pop you back into USA spending so you can get more details on the contract. So for example, I'm going to open one of these. Let's do this one here, digital gov development support. If I popped open this into USA spending, it's going to bring me to this exact award here. And until we link in who they're subbing to or who's subbing to them, then you can find it out here. I'm going to show you in like 2 seconds. So this is the exact award. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I guess USA Spending is probably a pretty popular website right now, I'm assuming. It's got a lot going on in GovCon right now. Okay, well, while that's happening, I'll keep going over here. Not only do you have all of the outlays of subcontracts and primes and this and that customers, companies can also upload their capability statement here or white papers. You can really use this however you want. And also up at the top, if this is you and you own this company, you can actually, this whole about section, you can edit this as well. So coming all the way down, every time we've written about them, you'll see their curated intelligence down here at the bottom. So you could really get a really quick view of like, okay, what are they doing? Who are they doing it for? And what kind of company are they? It's kind of giving you that quick hit, those quick hits. So if we came down here, this was the contract I had clicked on. They do not have any subcontracts on this contract. Yeah, it looks like it's still loading, but if they did, it would be down here. So everything is mapped back to websites that we trust. That's good to know. All right, where are we at on time? Oh my goodness, we've only got 7 minutes left. Ooh, I better get going. Okay,
Alexa,
so that is
if I want to pipe it, you do have one question. Can I select companies that are specifically strategic to me?
Of course, yes, you can. So if you come in here, just type in the company name, and then you can select whatever company that you want. Yeah, every single company is in here that has the sam.gov profile. So if they're doing business in the government contracting space, they will have a profile here. So absolutely, yes. Looks like another question may have popped up.
And
Nope.
they want to build my own pipeline on them. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes. So let me pop into pipelines because that's where I was going to go next. Usually I talk about GovAIQ, but for today, let me save GovAIQ and just say that it is a AI proposal writer. So if you haven't played around with it, please do. But let me pop into pipelines. So in here, I'm gonna pop into my Department of State pipeline, and you're gonna see that I have 2 opportunities. I've got one in market research, one in qualification. You can absolutely grab these and move them around. This is an active Kanban. You can also look and export. You can add a new one from here directly and import if you are playing with a big Excel spreadsheet. And if I pop into this opportunity, you're going to see it's very, very tailored to government contracting. You've got your industry name, your agency name, record type. all these different parts and pieces. You can go to your opportunity page. This is bookmarked as a must win. You've got your tasks, you've got your P-win and work share kind of built out down here. You also have your capture notes. So when you're down here, you can actually edit any of these down here. You've got your strategic fields, which are going to be your P-win, your project work share, your supporting information, and all of the different parts and pieces. So a couple of things. You can jump into the solicitation details directly. It's going to be housed inside of here, so you don't have to go outside of it, which is pretty great. And then, of course, I think this is going back to the question that was just asked. Can you associate companies to different opportunities in your pipeline? So if you go into G2X Capture Insights, you can associate opportunities, you can associate industry moves, you can associate awards and protests. The two pieces that are coming to the two pieces that are coming soon are associate company and associate events. So yes, those two things are coming. So that way you can associate them in here. So for example, if you have your teaming partners, you can associate them, or you can do some of your black hat competitive intel inside of here as well. Our goal can, when we built out this pipeline, was to make it so that way when you did your gate review presentations to your leadership, you could do it from one area rather than, for the love of God, presenting from PowerPoint. I cannot tell you how many step reviews I've presented from PowerPoint, and having to go and create a whole PowerPoint and then present. Why are we still doing it? It's like 1995 called, really. So this is why we built this. In one place, we wanted everything. And I did want to show you that if you jump into pipelines and you go into dashboards, I'm going to click this. I'm going to click on this one. This is a really nice way to present something top level because you've got your opportunities, you've got your different parts and pieces in here. And then eventually, if we've got tasks built out, they're going to be over here as well. So you've got them all in one area. Oh, okay. Hopefully that answered the question about pipelines. Please come in here and play with it. You're going to notice this beta tag on these, meaning that it is a new tool. So if it breaks, if it freezes, let us know, but do not panic. We know that it's in that beginning stages of getting built. Likewise, if you have feedback for us on how to improve it, we're always willing and open to hear it. We know that people have different workflows and methods and capture gates and different things, right? So we want to make sure that we're building this the right way. Before I sign off for today, I did want to share two more things with you really quick. One is our govcon.events. This is an AI tool that's very, very cool. You can put in your LinkedIn profile here and it's going to find events that are tailored to you and also tell you why it picked those for you. But if you select this I'm feeling lucky button, it will pull up some of the biggest events in the area. This is actually put on by a TSA contracting officer. And so that's going to be a great place to meet some folks. You've got a lot of your different events here. You can copy to clipboard so that way you can get your business case, send it to your boss. But wait, there's more. You can submit an event. You can see the trending events that are happening. And then you can see a calendar of, listen, you could never have to buy groceries or alcohol ever in this industry. You could just go to event to event to event to event to event and be good to go. Oh, I make myself laugh. Okay. Over here, this is the very last thing I wanted to show you, G2Xchange.com. This is our top level website, right? So if you go to the top level website and if you put / any SAM opportunity that you want, it's going to pop up a free tool, which is your RFI shredder. And I just pulled up the CISA one and I had it read two documents, the RFI, and then I think it was the Q&A, whatever update they gave us, right? So I'm going to say, what is the government looking for? Then it's going to actually run a search. So this is actually a perfect shredder for your RFI. So get to that, like, am I going to actually respond to this or not? So the nice thing about this is it's got a really powerful AI working in the background. So it's going to tell you like, hey, they want to do cyber training for this. These are the requirements, questions for industry partners. So this is what they're asking you for. This is the additional information. And then it'll also tell you where it's pulled it out of here. And then if you wanted to share, you could copy the link here or share it with this QR code with somebody else. And then don't sleep on these areas over here as well, because these are actually really, really helpful and will provide really fast information that can help you realize like when does it due, no set aside competition sources, all that stuff. So please get in there and use that. Do we have any other questions for me for today?
Don't see anything.
No? All right, then it's 12:30. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope to see you on the platform. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Dorothy. I appreciate you.